Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wave League. We are in the middle of Heatwave right now, and we have Despair versus Votum coming really quick at you. Right now, it is going to be Chad Knight playing Killer for Votum, and we're going up against the Survivors of Despair. I'm Tyro, one of your casters, and I'm joined by Draxy. Draxy, we have a Legion pick on Dawg. What do you think about that?
I'm gonna be really honest with you. You don't get to see Legion gameplay very often, so that they actually picked it. So I'm very excited. This set can go either way from 4Ks to really low stages. It's usually based on how the survivors play here. I'm very excited. What are you expecting from this trial here?
I mean, Legion is typically expected very low stages, but at the same time, we have a pretty quick hit onto Georgie, and I don't think he's going to make this in time. Legion did get a change recently where the cooldown in between frenzy hits is less when you just disable frenzy. So I think that kind of caught Georgie off guard there. But that is a very quick first down for a Legion, and right off the bat we see the survivors triple splitting, which is typically what you would see, but because of this fast down, it might not be the best strategy.
We're also seeing a really tight 3-gen around Gallows here, so I'm wondering how the survivors are going to play around this. Really good patient by Feisty, but we end up getting the free tag there and the pallet stun, which means he is out of power for a little bit. We do see some really unique, I want to say some normal items actually not unique. We see iridescent button. I think that is a mend button to where, or the broken button where you once you mend yourself, you are broken afterwards, if I'm correct there.
Yeah, that is exactly what that is, and we do have a chase going around the carriage, but that is going to transition towards Shack, and it looks like we're going to see that Eerie button in play really quickly with that Shack pallet broken. That's going to be Chad Knight chasing Sparky around the carriage now. Going to be a pallet drop, and then an immediate pallet break, and going straight to the next one, and this is just the Legion gameplay, getting those pallets out of the way and trying to get that M1 down, but Sparky playing this really well, going to be greeting this pallet, and then Chad Knight not able to follow it up with a down. Chad Knight continuously playing around this filler, but has actually left the building and is going straight away from this side of the map, going to be playing this filler now, and that is going to probably transition into a down. Yes, that's going to be a 51 for Chad Knight.
That's a really good chaser by Sparky, but at the same time, Gallows is now a barren wasteland. There's not really, I think we have 2 palaces up in that area because of the iridescent button, which could really hurt the survivors late game for trying to break that 3-genning Gallows. So I think it's kind of a double-edged knife there, and we could see a tag on Georgie who's not aware where Chad Knight is coming from, but he is good comms probably by team, and we do have a lot of progress in his 3 generators, but again, with that 3-gen inside of Gallows, that could be a problem later in the game.
Yeah, Chad Knight going to be continuing their pressure. I mean, that is 2 very quick downs for a Legion set. Chad Knight going to be chasing, I believe that's Georgie around the main building after applying the eruption. And Georgie going to be going for this vault, but Chad Knight is in hot pursuit, going to probably be deactivate. No, actually going for a tag. Does not want the down, and is instead going to be cutting off Autumn from the save. Autumn playing around this pallet very greedily, and this could result into not getting the tag, but no, that is going to be a tag. And here's going to be the 3rd tag on to Feisty Tater. That's going to be the last tag, and that's going to be all survivors injured and in mending, with Sparky still on the hook. They might go second. Nope. Spoke too soon.
But really good chase there by the survivors and being able to get that pull. We could see end up, oh no, we do not see main generator being finished, but I don't think that was a waste of pain res right there. I don't think he opted for pain res. No, he's not. I think it was really smart. Saving pain res for this end game would be really useful and beneficial for our survivors. We are, I think, opting for resets maybe, or just resetting the men timer together so you don't have to worry about being broken the entire game. We do see Georgia here up in main with a pretty high progress generator. We could hopefully see some progress. No, we do see reset. I don't know really how to feel about resetting against Legion here, especially on Dead Dog, where tags come in just really quickly, and as we already see the survivors, then I feel like just resetting there the whole time just ends up leading to just kind of like a little bit of time wasted, it feels like, no?
Yeah, especially when a tag comes in as quickly as that one. I do think there is some value to resetting, but you have to be able to stealth off of the reset and not get found, because that would mean that the Legion still has to waste time getting that first hit, even though it is pretty much guaranteed. But it's any time is better than no time. But at the same time, they don't really have the distance to be able to do that there, and that's how it transitioned into a down onto Autumn.
I with Autumn really I'm surprised we're venturing out this far. At least I was trying to play for high generator like a 4K as high as possible. It looks like Autumn though hooks really deep inside of that gallows gen spread. And with that, we might be able to trap whoever saved it in there and just kind of trade hooks here, which would be a ideal position because there's not a lot of resources inside your 3-gen. And it looks like we see Georgie here. He needs to have a phenomenal chase, but with Eerie Button, it could be a very quick down here. Wait, they're both here.
Yeah, we see multiple survivors in the area. Autumn going to be playing around this pallet, is not going to be eating that down, and that's going to be a pallet break forced out for Chad Knight. But Autumn, kind of forced to go and die corner, does not want to give up a advantageous hook position, doing a very good job of just delaying this down as much as possible around this edge map prop, I guess. But that's going to be yet another down for Chad Knight, and Chad Knight's doing a fantastic job on the Legion.
I also want to say, with such a down so early, he did really, like, in the very beginning against Georgie, he did a really good job keeping pressure off of these generators. We finally see the third generator popping with, I want to say, at least one. I know Autumn's on death hook. I think Sparky might be. No, everybody hooked, though. Autumn on death, and then everybody else has been hooked. So he has all pressures. I think he is doing really good pressure. If he can get Autumn out of this trial, like, soon, we could see a really beautiful possibility into a 4K here because of the gen spread around Gallows.
Oh, I agree. One thing to note, though, is that Chad Knight kind of gave a little bit too much room, and the unhook's going to come through there. We do have both survivors injured, just running over here to this dead zone of the map. Chad Knight is going to be able to get the down here, and that's going to trigger that eruption. But this is going to be a death hook survivor at 2 gens, which is not the best for the survivors, because this likely could transition to a 4K if they do not play extra careful.
If you were, say, you were playing on Survivor in this situation, would it, like, you were Sparky, you unhooked Autumn in that corner, would you try to die for Autumn just to keep the 4 people alive, just so you could play into that 3-gen?
Yeah, I do believe that that might have been the better move there. I mean, the best it can do is give a hit for Autumn to maybe make some distance towards main, and main is very tricky for an M1 killer to get a down on. Meanwhile, we continuously go to this part of the map that is just a big dead zone that is going to be a down onto Feisty Tater, but we do still have Sparky and Georgie up. They only have 1 generator remaining, but I mean, this might be tricky to do, because look at that gen spread that we see with Deja right there.
I also want to state is there's some resources. Sparky used a lot of them early, and then Autumn used, I think, the last one in this corner. And that's going to be the big problem that we're about to run into, is a really tight 3-gen, no pressure, and none of these gens have really been touched this entire game. So we're going to see, pretty much, if they do start working on these generators, you're going to see max availability to kick, eruption. You still got 2 pain raises in play. So this is looking it could almost be an impossible situation for Team Despair to really pop this last generator, which means their killer is going to have to really have a strong performance and bring out a 4K too.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic position for Chad Knight, doing a very good job just protecting this 3-gen and this hook that was within the 3-gen. I'm not sure if that was the most advantageous death spot for Feisty Tater there, but now it looks like our survivors are coming in for the unhook save, and that's going to be a cancel and a redown. And I think Chad Knight might just slug here and go for the down onto, no, is going to just put them into mending and then claim their prize in Georgie on the hook and hook them deeper inside the 3-gen. Now this is where it's going to be tricky, because they have to do a gen over here, but they're going to have to remain injured, because I don't think resetting at this point is the easiest feat.
I 100% agree with you. It's going to be a really tough situation. Unfortunately, they weren't able to break this regen early on, and the one person that was in like that was pressure. Oh my, that was such a really quick hook. That could be something that the survivors need, but we got to keep Lara alive here because honestly, it's going to be a tough situation to keep anybody alive because they're both injured. You can both downs right here because there's nothing. And this is where the problem's going to come in through, but it looks like we're going to be opting for tag instead. See where Sparky's on the generator. Erupts and hit the generator, so we also have Aura, and we're just going to take our last survivor, possibly.
Oh! That was so close.
If I'm correct, I want to say Chad Knight is also SA, correct? So it is a cross-ping game, if I am correct here. So it also got factors into understand how to play against SA ping. So you're gonna see a lot of unusual killers because comfortability with playing on this ping as well.
Yeah,
What a
Chad
beautiful
Knight.
tag.
I know. Chad Knight is just keeping up the pressure, going to be putting Sparky into mending, which means they cannot be working on a generator, and just continuing the chase here onto Georgie, who is already injured. This is going to be a Shack. Very good fake from Georgie, though. Going to be buying some time. Going to be not... Oh, fakes the window, but it's not enough. That's going to be Chad Knight getting the down, and now it looks like Sparky is unfortunately found. Chad Knight knew their location. Going to be playing around this wall. Does not go for the window vault. Instead is going to try to go inside the tile, but I don't think it's going to be enough because we have a silly little perk in play with batteries included, which gave enough haste to where that was just crazy.
And we are going to be seeing the 4K one from Chad Knight right now. Really beautiful performance. Does really well in Legion, which can be sometimes a really struggle pick for a lot of teams. But he came in, made it work, and what a beautiful performance. Hopefully Despair's killer is ready to come in and play for the 4K too.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they're able to cook up, which killer they are going to pick on this map. It's going to be a very exciting match with a pretty tough win con, but it's not undoable, so please stay tuned, stick around. We will be back in just a sec. Hello everyone, welcome back to Wave League. We apologize for the kind of slow start on this match. We did have some technical issues, but they are now resolved, hopefully. But now we are here with Votum versus Despair. This time we have Despair's killer Georgie on the clown on Dead Dog Saloon, going up against Votum survivors. And really quickly we see a very clean hit right through the pallet. And Georgie's going to be playing off of that speed boost with the yellow bottles, trying to get this down as quickly as the down came on him earlier. Doing a very good job of mind gaming that pallet, and that is a quick down. I couldn't even introduce my co-caster Draxy. What do we think of this quick down?
Honestly, that's what you really needed for the situation that we had to deal with last game, and Georgie going down pretty much just as fast, I'm going to say. It's really good that he's able to get this down, and unfortunately, we don't get to see a Gallows regen, but we do have a really tight regen kind of around main and water tower with this middle generator, so you have two options what to hold here, and that could be really good for Georgie to be able to meet or beat the Tycon.
Yeah, and Georgie's keeping up this chase pressure, going to be on Laura here, going to be throwing some bottles, does not quite make that one. That's going to allow Laura to make this pallet, but Georgie's trying to get a quick down, going to be playing around some mind games, but it's not quite enough, and that means that Laura is going to get out of there. But Georgie's also going to be interrupting this generator up here on the top side of the map as the reset comes through for the Claudette. And Georgie needs to get some pressure going. I mean, we're still at 5 generators, but still, you know, if we need that pretty hard win con, we're going to need to see Georgie break out something special.
Well, what we're about to see here is probably a down because of it being, again, so I was right, everybody, it is cross ping, SA to NA, so we are seeing We're seeing that Clown come in, and it is a very hard to play around Clown, who is probably the strongest 50-50 killer in the game, and allowing him to win most 50s, especially on high ping too.
Yeah, I mean, we saw those nasty hits through the pallets earlier, and that's going to be Georgie finding a chase on Main. Main might be a little bit difficult for Clown, but at the same time, Georgie is going to have that haste from the yellow bottles to try to play around it. Going to be breaking out some doors as well to try to maybe mitigate some of the difficulties with Main, but he's actually going to go back to the hook straight on time, catching our survivor off guard, going to be trying to slow them down to where they cannot make a resource. And not quite gonna make it down, but at the same time getting the deep wounds, sorry, and also not getting any distance due to that pallet stun, and that is a quick readout.
Wow. That is really good. And still, not a single generator's popped. And he's hooking on probably the most important generators right now. We do see this generator in Gallows pop, but it's kind of out there. It's not really impacting anything you really need it to. So I think as Georgie, that being your first generator pop is just really, you're comfortable with that. You don't want to let this generator up here really go, because if you want to meet or beat the wing con, 4K1, a 4K2 is kind of your best case scenario. If you're able to get Lara down here and out of it and make this a 3v1, oh, but we do end up seeing the FTP coming into play, but that could be also a double-jet sword if we can get it down inside of that really quickly.
Yeah, Georgie playing around this window is going to have the pallet here, but at the same time, oh, that's going to be a leave on the pallet, and they're not actually going to make this one. Going to be leading to a tag and then running straight towards Shaq. Georgie going to keep up the pressure on the chase, though, with this, oh, a little bit of a misplay, though, from our Laura, going to result in a down, and Georgie going to claim the first kill of the game at 4 generators.
Yeah, really good. Making this a 3v1 gonna be what they might need. If we can stop at least Nia's, or we need to stop one of these generators from popping. We don't really care about main in the situation, but we can stop Nia from doing it. Unfortunately, I think we're not a will pop that generator deep. This is looking like a possible 4K1 tie at this rate. We do get Japan's group, so if Claudia wants to play really aggressive on the gen, which they probably do, because they want to make this quick as possible. Oh, ends up losing. Yeah, I'm assuming Nia goes down towards water tower. We got to be really careful, but we still have a possibility of a 4K2 if we can play around Gallows and everything really carefully, really smart. We still have not seen Dragon Grip kind of come into play yet, but we're waiting for it. He's waiting for somebody to just slip up, and we do find Nia. That's a quick tag on her. Really well played, finding that quick tag.
Yeah, with that tag, that's going to be vital. That's going to be a much easier chase down the road. We are going to see 2 survivors in the area, one of which is injured, the other one is not. And Georgie going to be pressuring the healthy survivor. That way they can't just get on the gen and escape without a trace. Going to be utilizing the tables, but it's not enough. Getting the tag, and now we have the main building to deal with. But I think Georgie's going to just come back and kick this gen yet again, trying to get some regression going. And we do have a bit of a 3-gen that Georgie's holding here, but at the same time, I mean, they probably want that win condition, and Georgie might be wary to hold that.
I think he has to be really careful in the situation because he knows they're resetting. He just needs to find that reset. Hopefully he ends up getting an opportunity and goes behind. I think he will end up interrupting this reset. We do get one. But if I want to say, if a down comes into play here, this could be the snowball that he needs and could really affect how this game ends. I think
they're going to be going for Claudette. It looks like they might force locker here. No, they actually are going to go down. That's going to be a hit, but we do have a boil over. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we also saw a breakdown earlier, and that might come into play depending on how they're playing around this. We are going to see the hook come through, though, and that will be a pain res, buying even more time for Georgie. The breakdown, yeah, it was a breakdown on the Renato, or breakout, my mistake. But very close to wiggling, I think.
I agree. Being Dead Dog Saloon, Boil over and breakout could be really. Oh no! Oh, this is kind of the snowball you need. If these survivors just have to really work and try to get a gen, but pain res now coming to play in the 3v1. We have to be careful. We're not. Oh, this poor generator has regressed so much to the point from it being almost completed 99 down to 25 at least. We have to be careful. One wrong tag, one wrong misplay, and this could be game over for this trial.
Yeah, I think Georgie's playing this really smart. Does see the healthy Renato trying to pressure this topside generator, but it's regressed so much due to those pain reses that came at such vital times. And now we do still have one survivor up, but they are injured as well. So pushing the Renato away from the gen and knowing that the reset is not going to happen anytime soon, I think it's very wise for Georgie to try to protect this hook as closely as he is.
I also want to say for Votum survivors here, you really gotta realize the situation, how dire it is, right? So you want to kind of work that Gallows gen. If you can pop that, at least it's a tie, and you know you're not losing out on the set, right? So we want to, if you're them, you want to try to pop that Gallows gen while he is camping this, or at least he has much pressure to allow more options to pop in a generator. Because right now I don't see any gen pressure. I don't know if the survivors are. Hopefully that Claudette is on that generator at the moment. She's
No,
not. What's
Claude is
happening?
just stealthing, and so is Renato. Renato's stealthing as well. This is kind of dire for the survivors of Votum right there. They're not getting the gen pressure that they need. Georgie here's some progress on this generator. Is kind of aware that a survivor has to be in the area, but I think our Claudette player is doing a very good job of going out into the edge map to where they cannot really afford to get chased down. But now we're going to see a for the people to try to deny a tunnel out. That's going to be a tag on to Nia, and Nia does have the main building to deal with, but that is going to be a very good block from Georgie. This could result in a down. Yes, the fast does not come out. That's going to be a down, leading to a 2v1. But Georgie does not have enough. He's going to actually slug this and go after the Claudette over here, forcing the Renato off of a generator if they want to get the pickup onto Claudette.
I think Renato's going to stick that generator. If Claudette has a decent chase, that generator has 3 pops, right? So you need to make that choice, and it looks like he is going to make that choice to go for Renato. If Renato can hold a chase, Claudette hops on Gallows, and we just play a little bit of ping pong, or we can opt to go and pick up Nia. I think
Georgie agrees with you. He's actually trying to call out a rotation, it looks like, not actually going towards the generator. That could be Georgie's demise. We have this generator super close, but I think Renato stealthed off it. That's going to be the pickup on Nia as well.
I think Votum has put themselves back into a really powerful position, not being found, having a really good chase on Claudette, good FTP to waste time, and we're looking like a good spot. If we can get if we can get a reset off, we will. This could put our survivors in a beautiful position. But with Dragon just coming up, we finally see the value of it, and it's happening, allowing him to find hopefully Renato here from trying to stealth off in this corner. Oh no! I think that's
Iron Will is not enough. Very good find from Georgie. That's going to be another hook, another pain res, just buying even more time despite the reset coming through. We do still have an injured survivor on the board. It looks like Nia is going to be playing for that unhook. Meanwhile, Georgie is just checking on the wrong side of the map while they're grinding down the Gallows gen. We do see a crow off in the distance. That is going to be Nia going for the unhook, but I don't know if Georgia should commit to this. That's going to be the Gallows gen popping as a result.
Yeah, I think you gotta be really careful. It looks like we're gonna try to kill and get there, but that is going to be. I'm pretty sure that's a tie met here. Oh, this will be close. No, I think she pops.
Definitely pops. This definitely pops. Oh, the yell didn't interrupt the skill check there. Very unfortunate for Georgie, but that is going to be the 4K1 most likely. That will be the down onto our Claudette, and it looks like Renato's trying to just hammer out that last gen for a win. Going to be using the Champion of Light in order to move around the map faster. I love how creative the use of that perk can get.
Yeah,
But
I really agree. It's really nice, especially like I've seen it a few times allowed in spirit sets, and it just completely throws the spirit off of where you went. I think if I'm correct, the only win condition really you can meet right now is somehow making it out a hatch, right? I think that's the only possibility for them to take it. I assume hatch matters. In some leagues now that hatch doesn't matter in anymore, so that's something that we could see coming into play as well.
yeah, one interesting thing to see though is that our Claudette player has that tenacity flip-flop boil over and has actually climbed towards the top side of the map. It's actually going to be impossible to pick them up, so Georgie literally needs to find Renato and go for the down on him first in order to get that Mori, just to not risk losing the survivor
Has Claude
to a carry.
has Claudette been hooked yet?
Claudette has been hooked.
Okay, they've hooked everybody. I didn't know because I think the hook stages don't match average GBD, but it looks like we are going to be maybe playing for a trauma or a, not trauma tech. Is it trauma tech? No.
It might
Tra-
have been. We do have Georgie. He heard the locker sounds, but did not find our player Powa doing a good job of just stealthing this out. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to go for a trauma tech, um, in order to maybe not get that tie, maybe to get that win condition. And they're doing a very good job right now, just staying hidden. We do hear the clown yet again. We do know that the Claudette is here on the ground with that tenacity flip-flop power struggle, and Georgie is just lost, not able to find them. And this could be very good for Votum if they're able to get this trauma tech off.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I haven't seen a trauma tech in a while. I've seen like some very close ones, but I haven't seen a successful one. So I'm really excited to see if this actually ends up working out in their favor. This could be very detrimental to taking the first set. We thought they were out of options, but they had one more to come in and play.
Yeah, funnily enough, the last trauma tech that I saw was also against Georgie. When we were on a team together, he was on nurse and managed to get trauma tech across the map. It was very devastating. So we might have another one against Georgie here again.
Yes, Georgie, the hard part is what he's trying to play for. I understand he's trying to slug and find Renato. The problem he's gonna run into is Iron will allow Renato to sit in any. Say if he was self-in in lockers, he can sit wherever he wants for free and won't be found. You won't have a possibility of finding him unless you get like super lucky, right? So Iron Will playing a huge part, and we're about to see the Trauma Tech come through. And if they can do it correctly, it's going to be very viable for them to play this trial correctly and get hatch here. So it's going to be on Jordy to really play this slow, play it smart, methodical, and we're waiting for the pickup. Oh
Oh my goodness.
no!
That was
Oh
like fucking
no!
perfect.
So now all that needs to happen is Ronaldo cannot be found, but with Iron Will, that's going to provide a lot of possibilities. Claudette has to play super aggro here. As long as Ronaldo doesn't get found and Claudette doesn't die in the wrong position. Go away, bud. Shoo. Oh.
Claudette is here, going to be running away from the main building. And then working this topside generator. This is going to be very devastating because this essentially puts Georgie on a 90-second hide and seek timer to find our Iron Will Renato. And this is probably as ideal of a situation as you want for a trauma tech with that Iron Will on one of the
Check Walker.
survivors.
Check
He's
out Walker.
actually. Oh, he sees the blood! Oh my goodness!
Oh no, he just needed to say locker and he would have been fine. That's so unfortunate. That trauma tech can still be doable if Claudette does not get found. If she can get this unhooked, that's the best case scenario here. Claudette has to be careful. It's all up to her. And if she can get the unhook freely, that is what is going to allow them to be back in this game.
Georgie has to just camp this hook, I think. I don't think
Yes.
Georgie can move from this spot. He has vision over the shack. Oh, he's leaving so far away. This is not good. Oh my goodness, they're taking the opening.
Renato just has to hide. If Renato can hide, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, we see the
Use my body
clown.
block. She's got the body block for him.
Oh my goodness, unable to go through the door due to the body block. That's going to be a pallet drop as well. And now we have an interesting situation here where we have the door open. Georgie's going to try to maybe play around it, going to be trying to force the down.
I'm over watching.
Oh, tried to bait the run by swinging at the Claudette. This is going to be devastating. Oh my goodness, this is so tense.
Like,
Oh! No, that's not enough. I don't think Georgie's gonna make it. He's gonna miss it. Oh my goodness, what an ending to that clown match.
with that, Votum will be taking the Dawg Saloon. Trial 1 will be right back with our second matchup.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Wave League. We had such an exciting match last time with Votum just barely taking the first set through the use of the trauma tech. The trauma tech, for those who might not know, is when you basically make it to where one survivor immediately dies when you swing and down them. And then that leaves the hatch open for the other survivor to take. And that's exactly what we saw happen there. But now we are here on the Suffocation Pit, and we have Autumn playing killer for Team Despair on the Singularity up against Votum survivors. So Draxi, how are we supposed to follow up that last game?
Well, a lot of times Singularity is probably on average the longest matches, I would say. You see a lot. I want to say he ended up taking Old School Merchant's title of the 3-gen holder, and I don't know if a Singularity match will be exciting as what we just saw, but I personally really like these matches because it's all about high macro, really just understanding how to place your cameras, how to know how your opponent's mind works, and it could be a really fun match or a really long match here.
Yeah, and right off the bat, I mean, we see one of the survivors already getting that EMP out. We have another one posturing themselves next to the chest, 2 other survivors with EMPs in their hands, and it looks like we're going the slow route because they are stealthing out the Corrupt, it looks like.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's a really smart play for this map. I personally have not played much Singularity on Suffocation Pit. I've seen a lot of dead dogs groaning. You even see him on records a lot. So Suffocation is a little bit different. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more difficult for the Singularity because a lot of the tiles are just going to be in his way. A lot of LOS blockers. So that's what we're going to really run into a lot is you can't really set up double cameras like on a lot of open maps. So we will be seeing how that comes into play. If they're really smart with the EMP usage here, we're going to see a lot of survivors controlling this match more than Singularity controls the match. And we finally see our first survivor. Well, we have our first chase. We end up hitting Renato here.
Yeah, Powa going to be infected with that slipstream, going to be dropping that pallet pretty quickly. We do have an EMP in order to assist them in chase, but it is a little bit too late. Going to be resulting in a tag onto Most. Not able to make that pod though. Will make that one though, as Most tries to run towards the edge of the map, trying to die maybe in this corner here. But we do have a TNL that has to be played before that can happen. We are going to see the teleport though, and that's going to activate the slipstream for the Singularity. That's going to be a very fast vault, but it looks like Most is going to get the most out of this TNL. But a very good play from Autumn, going to be getting the teleport over the window and getting the first down.
Oh! You spoke too soon, and we got a beamer and first generator coming into play. Survivors are not letting anything go for free, and we do get a pod on, I want to say, Lara there. But first generator pop, we got to hold that. Looks like we're going to opt to actually hold the bot side 3-gen here, which is very doable, being Singularity, being the king of the 3-gen.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what the survivors are able to do. They're going to be faking the slipstream there. Very smart from Autumn, but it looks like our survivor's actually just gonna get out of dodge and go across the map. Is going to teleport onto Powa. Going to be reading that vault. It's not going to be enough for a hit though. That's not going to connect. And now we are in an unfortunate spot. Powa going to be getting rid of their pod. With the EMP, and now Autumn is unfortunately does not have camera setups on some of these generators. Is going to pod Laura there, going to be going over to try to interrupt. That's going to be a pod onto Most again, and that is going to be 3 survivors podded, which also increases the duration of the slipstream. But that is a fantastic hit, and just what we need in order to get some pressure for Team Despair.
No beamer here again. That beamer really allowed a lot of pressure on the serve side. Right now, we have a lot of survivors really controlling this map. A lot of pressure, allowing them to bring this match into their favorability. We do see Pen Res, which I'm gonna assume hit Claudette here. With the TP, Lara wasn't ready for that, and we will be seeing. Oh, I thought we were gonna see attack because of the ping. Will we? That's life. Really fortunate. Really good use of her exhaustion here, and we do see Shaq Pal out of the way. We just
oh my goodness,
we're not on this beam. It's kind of scary right now. We do get a free pull, and we just need a hit in the right direction to really allow Autumn to really bring back the control of this matchup.
Yeah, Votum doing such a good job playing as a team. I mean, we saw that little flashlight play there at the pallet almost work out. They're playing around the EMPs really well, just getting flashlight saves and doing stuff like trauma techs. They're very coordinated. It's very entertaining to watch here. Autumn going to be chasing around this rock and trying to zone away from the pallet, but unfortunately for Autumn, I don't think it's going to be enough. But does not get the tag, and there's another EMP going to just deny Autumn's usage of Slipstream altogether, and that pod is not in a position that is going to open up any survivors to get potted, and we have 1 hook on the board at 3 generators.
Now, this is what I was kind of saying. A lot of these jungle gyms in the middle are really going to make it really difficult to play around Singularity. Singularity really benefits from having a lot of open areas. It's like Wrecker's Yard or Dawg Saloon, a lot of open fields, a lot of easy line of sight, a lot of pods you can put up in high places or be able to double pod. I want to say Suffo, though, on the other hand, you can't really do that. A lot of really closed in, a lot of trees in the way. And that is what's going to make it really hard here for Autumn to get that. And a generator pops in Autumn's face. These survivors are doing amazing. And still 1 hook, 1 stage on the board, 2 generators remaining. This is what you want if you're Votum right now. We do get the EMP in time. Oh my goodness.
Just really constant EMP pressure from Votum. Going to be denying the power. That's going to be another generator popping. We only have 1 stage on the board. That's going to be the teleport from Autumn. Autumn going to be vaulting, double vaulting that B wall. Going to be playing around it, but a very good from our survivor. That's going to be Powa running up towards the top side of the map, making that vault and just playing this fantastically. We do have another God Rock Killer. I think Macmillan is a little bugged right now and only really spawns these. But I mean, Autumn's just kind of forced to leave the chase now and is going to be going towards our Laura player. We do have this TNL, but Autumn kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place. Does not want to commit to these chases that might go on for quite some time, but just look at the EMP pressure. I mean, they are just making it to where Autumn does not have consistent use of her power whatsoever.
I also agree. What I've noticed, I'm pretty sure the Macmillans are RNG bugged again, so we are seeing a lot, pretty much power spawning every tile they can. Thankfully, though, we kind of have a tight 3-gen here that is playable. The only problem is going to be this middle generator, because you can't really have a strong um, EMP or a pod setup here. So I think if they have one EMP, it hits any pallets they have there. So that's the problem we're running into. But we got such good RNG that will allow Autumn to probably get a couple free tags, hopefully.
Look at this. They have more EMP pressure again. Autumn is just kind of forced to have this high APM to just keep reapplying these pods, and they are doing such a good job of just splitting the pressure between the generators as well. Just really trying to split the killer's attention between two places at once, and it's working really fantastically for this team. I mean, Votum just extremely coordinated, not letting this power get any usage whatsoever at this point of the game.
Every pod there was pretty much EMP'd, which is wild and unfortunate. Oh my goodness, we are trying to clean up, trying to bring back some pressure. Every pod is just not usable at the moment. They're doing such a great job of not allowing Autumn to get pressure back. Oh goodness, and we get another EMP. This is so grim being in Autumn's position at the moment, and we don't get the teleport. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, they just have constant EMP pressure while working these generators, and they're doing such a good job. I mean, because we still are in the 4v1, I mean, they're able to just send one person to work on the gens, one to get the EMP, and then they kind of cycle between them to where, you know, there's just constant EMP pressure. And they're split across the map pretty well as well. That's going to be Powa potted. We have 3 pods on the board, but again, now that they're potted up, they're just kind of leaving the area, going to be getting those EMPs and not pressuring those gens. And then once they have the EMPs, they just kind of go back. I mean, look, they got rid of all their pods in one pop. Like, they're doing such an amazing job coordination-wise.
This is, I think Autumn doing a great job, doing their best, honestly, to keep the pressure up, but it's just they don't have enough time to do everything they need to do. And this is bounce landing? No, I don't think it was, but you just can't commit. You commit a second too long to Claudette here, that middle gen will be tripled and popped. That's the problem you're just having to deal with right now, and we are getting it down on Claudette. Thankfully, that will be eruption. Wait, Claudette does have balance landing, but
Oh my goodness.
the oxygen tank add-on coming into play kept her from being able to use it the first time around, but kind of hurt because she was able to get it back. We do get eruption here, but is it enough? This is not a pain rest right here. This is so bad. I don't think she's able to stop that.
Yeah, I think Autumn realizes that as well. She's just going to claim this hook stage and maybe try to make it back up towards the top of the map. That's going to be the last gen popping. And just these survivors, like, they just kept up the pressure on the chase, just made Autumn, like, unable to use that power whatsoever. And they got a fantastic result on a Singularity set. And usually on Suffo, I mean, we do see Singularity, you know, get some pretty decent results. But, I mean, this is just 2 hook stages going to turn into 4 if they just leave our survivor here on the hook, and they might be confident enough in their set to do so, because they are just opening that door, and I don't know if they're going to try to come for the save or not, but it might be possible.
I think they are. They haven't left yet. They reset. I mean, if you can get 2 stages only, that could be insane gameplay, and that's kind of what you want, right? But there's also the risk that comes with it. You've been playing good all game. One mistake, oh no, they're all leaving. I mean, really well played by Votum survivors. They were just in control this entire game, and we'll see if Votum can get the 4 stages they need to tie or 5 stages to win.
All right, everyone, we are live with Heatwave yet again in the middle of Votum versus Despair, and we have Chad Knight reclaiming the killer role for Votum as the Singularity on Suffocation Pit. Last game we saw Autumn for Despair get 4 stages. And so the survivors of despair have a tall task ahead of them to get 3 stages for a win condition. What do we think we need to see from the survivors here, Draxi?
I think we have to see some really good team coordinations. We cannot be giving out like tags too easily. We have to be able to hold chases. We have to play together. And I think we're already seeing the first tag. This is really good for Chad and I right now. We really just need that really quick tag. We want to get this down as fast as possible. We do end up playing around, get that TP, so we should be Shack Pallet out of the way. And realistically, Chad and I can just play really slow, get this kill, try to get Alexi out of the game as quick as possible.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, this is not the start you need for 4-stage win con. You really just need to be able to get a lot of gen pressure on. We haven't started a gen yet. We just started a gen. I lied.
And it got hit with pain res right there. Very unfortunate start for the survivors here. Alexi, unfortunately, in a dead zone. And that SA ping Singularity swing is devious. I mean, do you drop it? Do you not? It's very hard to tell when it's the ping matchup here. But Chad Knight, with that kind of lax win condition, just going to be going out, not focusing on the hook and tunnel too much. Just going to be going for chase here. Going to be getting the tag onto Sparky as well. And we do have the main building here, but that is going to be a teleport utilizing that camera that was set earlier. And we do have an EMP in hand on Sparky, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. That's going to be a continued chase. The vault coming through. This camera was not disabled also, and that's going to lead Chad Knight to try to get that teleport in order to continue this chase onto Sparky. That's going to be the pallet block, or the window block, my mistake, and Chad Knight going to be continuing the chase up towards the top of main, but this pallet is not going to be thrown. That's going to be a down. We do have Feisty Tater in the area, but unfortunately they're kind of caught out with only this pallet to play with, not going to be able to drop it, and that is going to be Chad Knight continuing this chase. We do have this window here, but at the same time, Chad Knight playing around it extremely well with the power, going to be teleporting right onto Feisty Tater and pursuing on them right through the pallet. That's not going to be a swing. That will be a break, and that actually allows Sparky to get picked up.
Oh, unfortunate teleport for Chad Knight. I'm surprised he has the time. Not saying generator has popped an early down, but I mean, you just take that down with Sparky, I would say, and it's just so quick. Getting rid of a lot of the resources here, and already close to tying the win con. Nothing here. I assume it's going to be this is going to be a down, unfortunately. Feisty Tater is now down, and we see...
Oh no.
This is bad. This is who we didn't want to be found, because you could just play for the 3v1 situation, and we have to play this pallet play. Honestly, the palette on ping is more like a 50-50 than it is a god palette at this rate. I want to say the RNG felt a little bit more powerful for our survivors on Votum, but I mean, double god rock in this corner. Oh, hi. We do see Autumn. I think if he swung, he would have hit that, personally. But we do have it down. We do see the first generator also coming through, and the second hook to Alexi. We gotta be very careful here. If Alexi's out of this game early, that is gonna be a very problematic situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna be eating a tag, and unfortunately kind of uses the speed boost in a way to where they do not make the pallet due to that little loop that they did. And that is going to be a down, and that is I believe 3 stages right here. So the survivors of despair are not able to give a single more hook state, or that will be a tie, and then if they give another one after that, then it will be a loss. So right now they have a pretty tall task ahead of them, considering that Chad Knight can pretty much just sit here and patrol this area. That is going to be an unhook onto Alexi, but Chad Knight going to do their best in order to deny Alexi any distance. Alexi's going to make it towards the
No
top here.
pallet.
There is no pallet because it was dropped earlier, and that's going to be the down onto Alexi. That is going to be the tie condition reached here at 4 generators for Team Votum.
Such a really unfortunate position. Wait, Sparky DC'd. I think
Yeah.
Sparky crashed, and that is going to be 4 points for Chad Knight on Sparky. That means a win condition has just been met, if I'm correct. That is so unfortunate for a DC or a crash to come in now. That is going to be the game for the 2-0 for Team Votum, unfortunately. It's just actually unfun way for that to end up going out.
Yeah, unfortunate for the survivors of despair. That is going to be a down onto Autumn over here by Shaq. We have Feisty Tater setting up for a flashlight save, just trying to do their best. Does not manage to get the flashlight save, though, a little bit off on the angle. That TV skin is a little bit difficult to tell, what angle they are looking, but that will be a hook into the basement, and we see some scratch marks here, and it looks like Feisty Tater is just going to be in the area. I mean, they know that they've lost at this point. There's nothing they can do. They might just try to play out the final chase, but that is going to be Chad Knight playing around this Ormond tile. That will be the teleport onto Feisty Tater. The pallet will be dropped. That will be broken by the slipstream. Going to be chasing around the side here of this 4-lane. The teleport will happen, but we have another window into this jungle gym. Going to be playing around it. Going to be kind of colliding with the boxes there, unfortunately, and this pallet again is gone, just like the earlier chase. Going to be resulting in a tag, and then the teleport just barely coming in around that corner, and Chad Knight going to be just running after the survivor. This looks like it's going to be it for Despair, and that will be the 4K4 for Votum on the Singularity, and claiming their 2-0 victory over Despair.
It was a really fun matchup to see here today. The first match was just super close, and Votum was just more prepared for the second match. We want to say thank you everybody who was here and watching, and I hope you all enjoyed as much as we did.